Bean.
Okay. Remember Duckhead back in the day?
I do. Have you seen the price of Duckhead now?
No.
It's back out.
It's back out.
Go to SF Almond, check the price on it.
It was tough. You know, it was either Duckhead, Tommy Hilfiger,
Doc
Martin Polo.
Tommy Hilfiger's where is that? The big white tee with the Tommy Hilfiger logo.
Was it Hilfiger or Hilfiger?
I got several in my closet. Still.
You can.
Well, not still. Actually, went on this rampage where I bought probably 10 of them, probably 5 years ago.
Oh, so you bought them from like you?
No, I bought them off eBay.
Yeah, that's not even real. They're probably fake.
Do they still sell them?
No.
Yeah, they do.
Have they went out of business?
Does the Outlet Mall have them?
I think so.
What store?
But they got two different logos. They have like that really gold style Tommy Hilfiger logo.
Okay,
with
what was Tommy Boy?
I don't remember.
A movie.
Oh. Wasn't me.
That was Tommy Hilfiger for children.
Yeah.
Tommy Boy was the auto brakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Callahan.
Callahan's. Yep. Brake pads.
Yeah.
He took it over. Him and what's the little guy's name that always played in the stuff with
David Spade.
Yeah.
Little guy. He's amazing.
I know.
Dang.
I'm discreditable, David. The little guy.
I'm like the worst at trivia or anything like that. Don't bring me to a trivia event.
Okay. Well, before we get to sing, guys, we're gonna give a shout out to our sponsors. Gulf South Productions, Daniel Lozada and the team. Go see them. They'll take care of you. You got an event. You want to throw a party. You want to throw a rager. You want to throw a wedding. You don't want to worry about audio. You need to go see them.
Yeah.
Next up, we got mattress by appointment. If you need a mattress, hit us up. We'll take care of you. Would you like to do the last two?
Golden Gulf Insurance Services. Hey, we'll insure your auto. We'll insure your home. We'll insure your
Builder's Risk, commercial.
Come see us. And then last but not least,
we will give you options.
Loxicom, home automation. Go see Pete and the guys down Howard Avenue. Biloxi.
You see all these lights we got going on here?
Yeah.
It's Loxicom. And if you want to hear about crypto, Loxicom.
Gotcha.
Looks like y'all filmed everything at a fair.
Well, a good bit of it.
Everything.
Every part of that intro is at a fair.
Everything that we've ever done has secretly been at a fair.
Have y'all seen the video with the?
There's actually a fair going on right now outside of here.
when I get done, my entry is to go do that next.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Do you like fairs?
You know, I'm not a big fan of fairs.
You're scared of the rides?
Yeah. So when I was younger, I never really liked roller coasters. It took me a while to get into them.
Like we're talking about what age group?
Was it because you were too short?
Yeah.
No, I was never too short for roller coasters. I mean, I grew.
But what'd you do when you went on like a date with a girl and like you had to go to the fair?
Hey,
you didn't ride the ride?
Yeah, dude, you manned up. But by the time I was dating, I was
say ride.
I was good with rides at that time, but in the very beginning, no, it wasn't happening. Probably maybe like 12 years old, I got around to where I'd ride them. But I mean, go to the fair, the Ring of Fire. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Back and forth.
No, it goes circle all the way up and holds you up there for a little bit, drops you down.
Yeah. It goes all the way around.
Got a little sketchy shake to it.
It shakes.
Yeah.
These guys roll in overnight and put that thing up.
You know why I wasn't scared of rides, Andrew?
Go ahead, let's hear it.
I never had in Latimer, I never had like a concrete driveway. We had oyster driveway.
Yeah.
So Crew 30's Country Corner was, and Matt grew up there with too, but right across from the house, there was a little grocery store and they had cardboard boxes. So we would take rope and a cardboard box and we would drag each other in the yard. We'd hit trees, but that was like a roller coaster in Latimer, and everybody did that in Latimer.
Yeah. Pretty reckless.
We did that. We put we put a piece of plywood behind a fuller and we put the rope through it and you hold onto it and go behind it.
You never did the banana cardboard boxes?
No.
Had the little wax on it, little slit to it? No. We're gonna do it soon.
All right, sounds like an idea.
Does anybody have a four wheeler?
I'm out.
Sarah, do you have a four wheeler?
I'm too big for that kind of stuff.
Anyway, no, I mean, I'm with you on that. But once you get past that ride, you get addicted to it. You want to do it again.
Kind of you're chasing the thrill is what it is.
I never liked bumper cars. Wow. Just because of people running into me was weird.
Did you not run into other people, or were you just that kid that everybody picked on? They ran into you.
Probably. Probably so.
I feel you. I get it.
I couldn't handle it. Something about bumper cars was just too tough.
All right. So you're talking about bumper cars. What about Fun Time USA back in the day, the bumper boats?
Oh, they were fine. They were fine.
Yeah.
So, but just think how dangerous that was. There is a outboard motor in the water with people that are just.
Were they outboard motored?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they had little motors on them.
Like a little 5 horsepower, prop running under the water.
Yeah, it's probably why you don't see them anymore.
Yeah. The insurance. I mean, you can tell me the insurance for that's probably a little bit outrageous.
I just like to think that there might have been a better idea or a better way to do it.
So, guys, right now we have our guest, none other than the number one banker on the coast. Commercial lines. You need a loan. This is the guy you want to see. Let's give a hand of applause for Andrew.
I appreciate it.
Man. Hey, welcome to the studio.
I'm here for the circus afterwards. I mean, or not circus, the
bearded ladies out there. Welcome to another episode of Kathy and Susie's Kids.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Matthew.
And I'm Andrew.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, who are you? Where do you come from?
Where do I come
We're
from?
about these parts.
Man, you tried early on that one, didn't you? I'm from Picayune, man. So I grew up, born and raised in Picayune, Mississippi.
The pick.
The Ford place.
Well, the Yune is what we call it.
Yune?
Yeah, the Yune.
Oh, we called it. I don't know what we called it. Called it
The
Picayune.
Ford place. That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, when I always think Picayune, I always think that commercial, the Ford commercial.
That's a good car, Paw.
Yeah.
You kick
Is it still around?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Were you ever the kid that kicked a tire?
So I don't know if I ever made TV. I definitely went there and kicked a tire. Like they filmed me and did it.
Did they have like a whole, because I remember seeing that commercial whenever I was a kid. Did they have like a whole, like who's going to be the best kid to kick the tire competition? And like you just come in, because if they did.
They didn't, but I'm thinking that'd have been a great idea. Like America's Got Talent or something, but it's like the tire kicking.
At this time that this happened, did your parents buy a vehicle?
Oh, no. We just small town, man. Probably then it was maybe a town of like 8,000, 6,000 people.
Okay.
What's it now?
Like 12, probably 12, 14.
So it really hasn't. I mean,
after Katrina, we had two Winn-Dixies at one time.
And what?
So at one time, there was two Winn-Dixies, a super Walmart, and a Claiborne Hill, which is Claiborne Hill is kind of like another Winn-Dixie.
Okay.
It's pretty fancy.
Yeah, we had two exits on the interstate. I mean, we were working with some stuff.
How many lights?
There's plenty, too many to count.
So it's actually a pretty big city.
Yeah, it was pretty big. We got really big after Katrina. A lot of people from Chalmette moved in. They moved up in Carrier, Picayune area. So that's when we really.
Is it a dry county?
It is a dry county for bourbon and stuff like that. Like a certain percentage alcohol. You can buy beer up until like midnight, but not on Sundays.
Still to this day.
Probably. I don't go there. I live in Gulfport now, so I can buy beer whenever I want there. So it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, kind of. So like Thursday, I'll be at Emily's parents in Lumberton.
Okay.
And they're a lot like that too.
It's just, it's rural.
Got to plan ahead.
You do have to plan ahead. Make your stop before you go.
What did you guys do for fun in Picayune growing up?
It's more like what did you not do for fun?
I don't know.
No.
We just partied around fires and drank.
I mean, we used to ride. I mean, starting younger, we rode our bikes around. We had a Y, so me and I'd go pick up my buddy. We'd ride bikes, go swim at the pool all day long.
Like you had a YMCA there?
It's a Cornerstone.
Okay.
So is what it was, is a Cornerstone. Same thing as a Y though. Huge swimming pool, basketball court, workout facility, steam room. Awkward steam room things that you see when you're 12, 10 years old.
You got any stories about that?
No, I blocked them all out.
Okay.
Maybe later they might come up, but they've been put on the back burner.
Very suppressed.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was good. That's really what we did. Hung out with everybody. We did the field parties. You'd go hang out in the back of subdivisions that weren't developed yet. Man, just wherever you could go hang out. Nobody would bother you. It was the way to go.
How long did you live in Picayune? When did you get out?
Oh, when did I actually leave Picayune? Let's see here. I tell everybody I've been on the coast for 6 years, but I've been telling them that for 6 years. So I don't know. I've been down here since at least 2013, maybe 14. So I've lived in Gulfport since then.
Do you still have family over there?
Oh yeah, my parents are there. Got an aunt that lives over there. That's it though.
We need to go check that place out one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll give you a tour of the town, man.
Is there a mayor?
Could you be mayor?
Yeah, there's a mayor. No, definitely not.
No,
definitely not.
That'd be a tough job.
I don't think
it's too big. Nobody does politics. There's no way you could actually get somebody to do politics for the right reason these days because it's too hard. in the spotlight all the time. Everybody breathing down your neck.
Do they have a city manager and a mayor?
Oh yeah.
Because that's two different things. People don't realize is like when you see a mayor and a city manager, most of the time the city manager is in charge.
So I think there is a city manager and a mayor. I'm almost positive.
Well, because they have mayors that shake hands.
Yeah.
They go in there and shake hands, and then there's a city manager that runs it.
That is actually doing the stuff.
Doing all the stuff. And the mayor just, shakes hands. And there's a lot of cities that I didn't realize that until a couple of local cities down here, which I won't name, but are, the mayor doesn't fully run it. It's the city manager's doing everything.
Yeah. It's kind of like the liaison almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need a city manager.
Did y'all have like a mafia in there? And one guy, did you have Boss Hog? Did you have your one Boss Hog?
So,
and could you name them?
We had like families that you kind of knew that were always, so Stockstill was a big last name in Picayune.
What is it?
Stockstill. So they owned a lot of the land whenever it was just that. You had a couple other people that owned a lot of land that they sold it little by little and people took it over. Man, there's always those rumors that went around about who was always the person in town, like the older, the group. No, I wouldn't. I'm not going to disclose that. You never know. It might still be the man. You don't want them coming knocking at your door, right?
Could put a hit out on you.
It has to be. I mean, it has to. I mean, there's always a family behind most of these cities.
I think every city has that. I mean, y'all, tell me, are y'all from the same city? Did y'all grow up in the same city?
Yeah.
Where'd y'all grow up at?
Latimer.
So Latimer. Was there like...
Tommy Broadnecks for sure.
Probably.
Tommy Broadnecks owns like most of the creeks and waterways, and he's also a board of supervisors.
And so he was like the guy who like granted access for.
I mean, he had like the Easter party at his house. Which is he still alive?
I don't know.
But Tommy Broadnecks would always have which wasn't a bad guy, but he was
on the end.
He was on the board of supervisors. He had the big house, and when Easter came around, he had like a Easter egg hunt for everybody.
Yeah,
but he had that roadhouse still to him.
See, like my parents, we kind of
like, you know what I mean? You don't want to mess up.
Yeah, no. See, my parents were kind of like, we always just did our own thing. Like my dad just he didn't care, whether people thought. Like he always marched to be his own drum. He had his own business in Picayune, so he always
chiropractor.
Yeah, he's a chiropractor. He actually
to this day
he just retired last year. Actually, it worked out really well for him because he was going to retire in December. The hurricane came through, tornado hit, destroyed his building, so he got loss of use, and they paid for his building, and then he sold it. So I mean, the one-time insurance works out for you.
Yeah, one of many.
You actually get for what you pay for.
How long was he in the practice?
Give you options.
He was at least in it for 30 years.
Pretty good dude.
Yeah. Very solid. He gave me a really good piece of advice whenever I was younger. He said, "Don't do anything I can't get you out of." And I was like, I get it. I get it. I was like, don't do anything super stupid.
So did you ever, or you followed those guidelines?
I stayed really close to that.
To the fine line.
Yeah. I mean, I knew better than to mess up. Every once in a while you cross it, but you kind of catch yourself and you're like, it's kind of, yeah, you catch yourself. So that was like really. Did
you ever want to follow the footsteps of a chiropractor?
So I thought about it, but when I was younger, he nixed it in the bud. He was like, no. He was like, this was, so I graduated high school in 2007. So obviously the real estate crash happened around that time. The markets all went bad and stuff. We just had Katrina. So prices were up on everything. Your gas was outrageous. His business wasn't what it had been previously. So he's like, no, you're not gonna be a chiropractor. It's not something that you should look at. You want to do something else. So I let it go. Hindsight now, he was busier than he ever was when he went to go retire. It would have worked out great. But, I enjoy what I do now. I mean, this is what I wanted to do whenever I was first graduating high school and college and stuff. I wanted to do this, and I didn't know the path to do it. And now I've made it. So
awesome. So let's walk through that real quick. So you went out of high school then to Mississippi State? Or?
I did. I went to Mississippi State. So Mississippi State has its own little zip code, just like the campus. I live there. I did not know that there were classes on campus that you had to go to, though.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
understandable.
Real downfall of my freshman year.
Got one?
Yeah.
What was the first time you had your first party you went to in college?
It was before school started.
Okay, so do you remember it? Like you have to remember that first party.
100%.
How did it feel?
Yeah, what was it? What was a party? Let's go on that first.
So I mean, it was we got up there. So I got up there. We had a dorm. I had my dorm. I knew guys that were up there. They're a couple years older than I was. They had went to junior college, played ball there, and then they transferred up to state. They weren't playing ball; they were just going to school. So I knew them, and so I got in a room, got settled. And I mean, my parents left. They went and had dinner that night. They went home, and I was sitting there. I was like, okay, so this is what it's like to have zero parental,
Responsibility,
guidance. Like they don't know what time I get home. Obviously nothing. So I was like, all right. And I'd had a good time growing up. They let me do kind of my own thing. And so I text those guys, I was like, hey, what are y'all doing? They're like, we're over at my place hanging out. We're drinking. Come on over. I was like, all right. I slept in my truck many a times outside of their apartment complex. Like a lot.
Too much.
What was your booze of choice?
Actually, at that time, it was Southern Comfort.
Oh
Yeah.
I know, right?
Soco and lime. I remember drinking.
I used to do Dr. Pepper, Southern Comfort Dr. Pepper. We actually, me and my wife talked about that the other day about like what we drank in college.
Your progression.
Yeah, you really grow up fast once you kind of realize how bad of an idea some of that stuff you drink is.
That's what Austin and them were here the other day and had the Jaeger, and I'm just like, oh my God, what is that? This reminds me of.
Yeah, I grew out of that.
I cut that out of my life.
Oh, no.
So I didn't get to experience like a form of college. I dropped out of high school, but I went when I started Janny King. I had to go up for like a month or so, or maybe 2 months. Can't remember. Like it was like a class training I went to, but I ended up staying with my buddy Lee, which was on the podcast. And we all stayed in his apartment, and I got to experience that. Like I was like 18, like 19, like I was young, but I got to experience that under like that Keystone Light. It was Keystone Light and special sandwich sauce, but it was all we drank was Keystone because that's all we could afford. Like
sandwich sauce.
Yeah, it's a beer. Yes, you're right. So because Keystone sold in 30 packs.
Yeah, so you just bought everybody. It was like all of us. Derek, Bowden.
I remember going and getting the fish bowls and thinking that was what I wanted to get drunk on whenever I was in Oxford.
Oh,
as a kid.
So we're talking about bowl.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Bud Light Party Ball?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Can Garrett, you pull that up? I don't even know what it looks like.
I actually got on the internet. I was trying to. No, they don't have them anymore. I was trying to find one.
Surely there's one.
Wait, I remember like a little small keg.
We know enough beer guys in here, this room. They have got to come back out with the Party Ball.
Yeah.
That was the greatest thing ever. We drank. That was actually.
I remember the Heineken mini ones in the
little keg. Yeah. We drank the Party Balls a lot in college.
It was with was it a case?
No, it comes in a box. So the box one below on the so there's a it comes in a yes, that's it, and it has a bag.
I remember that.
You fill the bag with ice. It's like it's self-contained keg. It's ready to rip.
I would do.
When did they quit making them?
Probably as
when
soon
we were
as
in college.
Yeah, it was definitely. I know I didn't have any of those like when I was back at Southern. So they definitely stopped them probably in 2008.
How much beer did they hold? That wasn't like a case.
No, it was like 40 something or 55 beer.
Yeah.
I was hard on Zima for a while.
Ooh, I see.
I couldn't find my way. I had to find my way.
I couldn't buy like alcohol until I was maybe 17.
Nah, bro. Our boy Brandon Bailey was like, what, 14, 15? He had a full goatee, and there was an Asian gas station in Latimer.
Damn.
Didn't I know he'd walk in there, and it was right there on McClellan Road. It's no longer there anymore, so guys, so what?
Yeah.
But he would just go in, and he can get a pack of smokes, he can get whatever.
You test the waters first. You do something.
He was so hairy. It's like they didn't say nothing.
Me and my buddy Jake, so best friend growing up, best man at wedding. That was who like Friday nights we could be found together. We go to the Shell station right there and right next to Hardee's in Picayune. That one always sold to us, no doubt.
Same person every time.
No, it just the store.
They just knew you.
Well, I don't think a lot of people.
Did you use any pickup lines? Like you're the same old like I'm pointing at finger pistols to the register.
I used my fake ID was Richard Imhoff. Richard Imhoff was 4 years older than I was, 5 years older maybe. And I went to a gas station one time, and the girl looked at the ID and said, "I used to babysit him." And I was like, "Oh." I just kind of smiled, and she still sold it to me.
Nice.
All he needs is an ID.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, but she said I babysitted him, and I was like, Oh yeah, so you know I'm not him at this exact point.
I mean, I got dip, but I never got alcohol underage. I never risked it. Never did on that risk right there. Did you?
Yeah, all the time.
See, always did. I did smokes or dip.
It's kind of that was my roller coaster ride. It was a rush, man.
It was a rush.
I felt like I could be like 18. I can go for 18, but I couldn't go for 21.
It was all about acting confident. Whenever you first just walk in there, you got to look at them in the eyes, and you just got
confidence is key.
Gotta let them know that you belong there,
and go straight to where the beer is.
Yeah.
Don't walk around the store and try to find it. You got to know where it's at. Yeah, because
in and out.
Yeah, if you walk in, it's like when I go to the liquor store now, and I'm going in. If I grab a box,
you don't want to waste time.
I walk straight in at the liquor store by our house. Straight in, take a left. It's up there. Grab it. Walk to the counter. They never ask for.
So you're trying to say Sage only does box wines?
Yes. So Black Box Wine. Oh, it's the greatest.
You'd fit in great at the chamber.
Yeah. I think Black Box.
Shout out Biloxi Bay Chamber if you're looking to sign up.
Come join us.
El Presidente.
Yeah. I'm more of I get Crown Royal at the liquor store.
Yeah,
that's about it. Every now and then I grab a bottle of wine, but.
Yeah, Black Box. I mean, I buy bourbon.
Dude, I've been on a kick of doing Jack and Coke.
The Coke gets me, man. If I drink that, I feel like
I don't drink Coke at all. Like I just started getting on this kick where I wanted a Coke from time to time.
And that was it, huh?
Yeah, it's just like shit. Like because I really don't. I used to drink Sprites, but I've always just drank water.
So you're drinking your Jack, and you're like, I really want something here to spice.
Yeah, well,
let me go with the Coke.
Well, pick me up.
Shit, the wintertime comes, I kind of want a Jack and Coke.
That's kind of like drinking Red Bull and vodka. It's like vodka's good, but
I can't do that. I can't do the energy drink mix thing though.
What about like spiked coffee? Do you do that?
Shit. My mother-in-law, she does the Kahlua, homemade Kahlua for me every Christmas. Hopefully this Christmas, please.
You know what it's really good, that the one that they had that came out with the king cake one that's kind of like rum chata that just came out last year.
I've seen the espresso shot ones they work in the Keurig type deal.
Oh man, you can buy the bottle of it, mix it in your coffee in the morning. That's a great Saturday morning coffee.
Yeah. I don't drink coffee.
Really?
Yeah. It stunts your growth.
My grandma fed me coffee in a bottle. My grandma did too. So apparently, but it wouldn't come on. My grandma did milk and coffee. You didn't do the full blown all black.
No,
she wasn't that kind of lady.
No, but I mean, if that's what happened, I'm only 5'9". I could have really done 6 foot. I needed it.
Yeah, we went down to Florida for Tyler's wedding, and we drove in Josh Cavett.
Hey,
Josh Cavett.
This camera right here. Stop. This camera right here. Can we do we have a picture of Josh Cavett?
I don't know if we do, but anyway, he made a stop at Buc-ee's so we can get chocolate covered coffee beans.
There's a place in Ocean Springs that sells those.
Really?
Yeah, they do the dark chocolate covered.
You hear that, Josh?
It is amazing.
I had a couple, and I was a little jacked up afterwards. I felt it. So,
like candy?
I think, yeah. I don't know what they do to the coffee bean. I mean, I always roast it or something.
Roasted. Yeah. I mean, it still has coffee.
I like Buc-ee's nuggets.
Oh, the beaver nuggets.
The beaver nuggets are it.
Yeah.
And I went on a kick. We went to Orange Beach, and I was with my stepbrother, and we went on this kick where we bought almost every flavor of beef jerky and then beaver nuggets.
That's probably like
nowadays
thousands of dollars.
Yeah, nowadays that's almost an investment.
Yeah.
Well, it was pre all this with prices going crazy.
Are you guys allowed to drive by Buc-ee's and not go in?
I have to go to in
100%. I'm allowed to drive right past. Yeah.
Why would you not go in Buc-ee's? And why does Buc-ee have a problem with 18-wheelers? You're not allowed 18-wheelers there
because they don't need them.
Yeah, but what if they want to go there? What if they're living on the road?
Well, they need
life is a highway.
Another parking spot for them. You don't need them. I don't know how they have that many gas pumps and they're full.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense
every single time.
It's on Pinterest, bro.
Just wait until they have one on Hinge. If that one is full, like the one everywhere else,
that's right by you, right?
It's a little bit away.
Why do I keep thinking you're so far away?
You do have to have a passport to get to my house and back into the country, but it's not that far away.
How far away do you live
from? Well, I mean, I'm on 53, Highway 49 and 53, or
County Farm Road.
No, that's way further down on 53. I am right off of Highway 49, so it's not bad.
No,
and you got good food over there too.
Yeah, Stop and Go, solid gas station. It's got everything I need.
Ooh,
do they got that clucking chicken?
No, they have like Real home.
Tony's Pizza.
Oh, those the gas station pizzas are the best.
Is Golden Corral coming back?
It's open.
Oh,
Is it really?
Yeah, the
We're
Golden
going.
Corral's back open.
I love.
What
Golden
about
Corral.
Barn Hills? You know Barn Hills back in the day?
Barn Hills. They used to have one in Hattiesburg.
Yeah, it turned into a rave at one point.
What?
Yeah. There was one in Starville too. And yeah.
No,
I promise.
So the Barn Hills, they shut it down and turned it into a
Yeah.
rave spot.
Yeah.
Buffets just aren't cutting it anymore, huh?
I'm telling you, man, we were out there. We were, I don't know, we were pretty wasted. We were in Starville, and it was after a game, and we walked by, and it was like, and I look in, and there's lights going everywhere. We walk in, there's people just throwing a big party.
Dude, that was just a wedding reception.
No,
That's all
at
that
Barn Hills.
Yes, I mean, it's a buffet. Why would you not have one there?
No, it was a rave.
What? Let's ask this question. Now we do hang out a lot, and I was going to say, like, I really appreciate our friendship that we've been doing with Carter Champions. You joined the board with us, and honestly, you're one of the friends that Thursday beer with.
Yeah.
And then we've developed it. We have a friend. His name is Jeremy Hard. He's a model. Look him up.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
not. It's okay.
No, but look
You
him
don't
up.
wanna look him
Anyways, like we have that. We built this relationship, and I'm glad you're here on the show with us. But what is y'all's favorite? Let's say 2021. What was your favorite bar to hang out at?
21?
Yeah.
Mugshots in Hattiesburg, the original.
Okay.
There's no doubt in my mind. Man, that's nostalgia. Like, so, all right.
Like you talk about all time.
Yeah.
Okay.
All time.
At 21, what was your favorite bar?
Yeah, it was definitely 100% Mugshots. And hey,
And we can say 21 to 25.
it's still Mugshots. Like right now, if the original Mugshots would go back, there's probably,
That burned down, right?
oh,
Yeah.
dude. So it burned down my senior year. Actually, I can remember it burning down. I remember when it burnt down, I thought it was a joke because, so when I was in college, social media was still catching on. Not catching on, but being able to take a picture like it is now and post it like that didn't exist.
No.
It was, you took a picture, you could upload it. It took a minute. You kind of had to
30 minutes.
Yeah. Now you just post it right away. So,
And you didn't have group chats.
no, you didn't have,
That
you had
whole
like,
fucked
you had to,
everything
like
up
group
now.
me or something
Yeah.
like that. But I remember somebody got a picture or somebody said, because it was on it from our apartment complex to campus, you had to pass Mugshots. And somebody was like, dude, Mugshots burnt down. And I didn't have a class. I knew better. I was a senior. I didn't have a class before 10 a.m. Just don't do that. And sure enough, I went to class and Mugshots had burnt down. We actually, so we borrowed the sign from Mugshots.
Okay.
We went to another bar in Hattiesburg. It was called the Frat House. And
I remember that place.
yeah, it was $10 all you could drink on Thursday night. And the best thing about Mugshots was they had this thing called Longleaf Trace. This is probably why it was the best bar for us. Longleaf Trace, or the Trace. It was a walking path. It was really long. It's like 20 something miles. It actually went from behind Mugshots right next door to our apartments. We would walk that home. And in the bottom, probably about halfway, there was on 4th Street, there was a big dip. The police would set up roadblocks in this bottom. And so there'd be about 10 or 15 of us drunk walking back from the bar, yelling at people getting DUIs, like calling them stupid and stuff like that. Like, hey, hey moron, you should have walked, stuff like that. And the cops would meet us at the end of the Trace and be like, hey, don't do that. Like, I can give you all tickets too right now. I'm like, oh, sorry. But I mean, it's funny. So we do it. We kept doing it. They knew who it was. They would call us out. They'd come to the apartments and yell at us every time. It was good though. What's y'all's? What's y'all's 21-year-old, 25-year-old bar?
Mine's upstairs, downstairs.
I've heard of it. So you gotta remember, not from here.
Yeah. Was it 21?
I think upstairs downstairs got destroyed during Katrina, and that was before we were 20.
Yeah, it wasn't 20. Upstairs, downstairs. Then no. I would lean into Shockwave.
Mine was the Julep Room, no doubt, on the coast.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good one too.
Which is underneath Aunt Jenny's. I don't know if you've been there.
No, where's that?
Okay, so Aunt Jenny's is a
Damn, I was
catfish
underage drinking
restaurant. Catfish restaurant, and in Ocean Springs, you go over the Fort Bayou Bridge. It's right there on the right. It's like an old historic home. Anyway, underneath in the cellar, there is a little bar called the Julep Room. It's probably about 6.5 foot ceilings.
You'll bust your head. Elvis Presley hung out there.
Elvis Presley did hang out there. But it's a little bar, a little jukebox, and a little stage, and it's always like 1 or 2 people can go up there and play music. But it's a pretty sweet spot. But I remember packing this place out as kids when we were young. Like the
locals.
We had like in the parking lot was just jammed full of people.
Yeah.
But Shockwave, huh? That was surprising. Because they did men's night.
Well, no,
versus women's night, ladies' night.
No, Fred Frost used to, Fred Frost used to own that bar, and that's when Dad's first like
a singer, Fred Foster.
Yeah,
Freddie Frost.
Frost.
But him and my dad had like a pay here, go here car lot on Dido Road.
Yeah,
and they did it in like the early '90s, and then did the car business for a while. Dad went off to work for some of these other brands, more corporate style. Well, he kept that lot going, and then he sold that lot and started Shockwave.
Okay.
So when he had it, I can go there at 18. Guys, if you want to know this league, like you are in state of Mississippi, if you're 18 years old and you're with your parents, you can drink beer or wine. As long as you have one parent with you, you're allowed to drink at 18.
Okay.
So
it's still the rules?
Still the rules.
I appreciate that.
Sure.
I'll remember that when I'm 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can go. You can go if you can go with your parents at 18 and you can have a beer. And my dad, I'll tell you one thing about my dad and my mom. They were never like too hard on, if you have a beer, have it in front of me. Don't drink it off. I've had literally one speeding ticket in my life.
Yeah, that was dude. No drink. Yeah, that was
like never drink and drive. Like you can be crazy, but don't drink and don't go that low. And so like my parents were just pretty open about it. But yeah, you can be 18, have a beer and wine. And that place was like that first experience.
So, all right. So we're talking about like our bars we went to. What's the funniest thing you ever done inside of a bar? I've got a great story. That's why I led into this one.
We're going to let you lead into your funny story.
Yeah. Maybe I'll start off and y'all can see if you got something.
I'm trying to think.
So when I say something like me and Justin,
funny guy.
So Justin Chance works next door to me.
Oh,
and
who's that?
Justin Chance. He's a commercial banker. He does the same.
I've never heard of that.
Can we pull him up on LinkedIn, see who this guy is?
Go ahead. No, a lot of talking.
Like a goober.
So we'll sit there and talk, and sometimes we'll share stories. And this guy can remember. He can remember stories like it's going out of style. Me, I put that stuff in the back of my head and forget about it. But we're sitting there talking, and stuff starts coming to me, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot about this or I forgot about that." So funniest thing we've ever done at a bar, and it's really it's genius. Mugshots was packed, and this bar was not that big. The floor had fallen in before on it. It's multiple times. And it has a horseshoe shaped bar, and you couldn't get a drink. It was quarter liquor night. So couldn't even get a drink. It was serious. Look at him. Golly.
Yeah, it's a real dude.
Hey, so he's the what did he just come into? He came into the he's like on the board, but he's like the president of Back Bay Chamber, maybe, or Biloxi Chamber.
Is he the Biloxi Chamber?
Biloxi Chamber, I think so. Yeah.
Are you got a rival now?
Yeah. I didn't know that. We're gonna have to arm wrestle.
No, Octagon. We got to put it together. You're gonna have to.
You think Chamber off.
So anyway, it was a horseshoe shaped bar, and it was packed. Quarter liquor night, $5, you drink all night. Couldn't get in. I mean, you couldn't get to the bar. It was so busy. Well, one of the girls had mace on her keychain. So one of the guys really grabbed it and sprayed it like in the middle of the dance floor, walked towards the bar, just spraying it. The whole bar cleared out. Nobody could breathe. It was a small room. Everybody's choking, coughing, snot's coming out of people's nose. It really happens just like that. Yeah, I mean, it worked out great, except for nobody could get a drink at that time.
That was the funniest thing.
Yeah, I mean,
it seems like a menace to society.
At the time, it was really bad. But looking back when you
saw it down there.
Oh yeah, and I knew who did it.
Knowing the whole time.
Actually, what's funny is I know we blamed that guy for it too. Like I know we pointed at that guy and said it was him, and that's what's really bad. For a matter of fact, so it was like, who did that? We're like, I don't know. I think it was that guy over there.
It was called you to snot up your nose and everything.
Oh, man. Oh, have you ever been maced or anything like that?
Nope. I've only been tased.
I feel like that should be a great intro video. You getting maced?
Have you been maced?
Yeah, one time.
Have you been tased?
No. Well, yeah, actually, I have. Not like by a police officer taser. Not the ones that actually stick in you, but by like the little crap.
I'd be more worried about the thing sticking in me. I don't want to harm.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with you on that.
I didn't get stuck with that. I tased myself on my mom's taser.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what it felt like. I was like testing my area. Like I was like, oh, what does it feel like? And then I hit my leg. But yeah, no, I think the craziest thing that ever happened to me, at a bar is watching two drunk dudes fight each other next to me and literally just spill every bit of beer on me. Like,
You were saying you're just soaked head to toe.
Well, it's just kind of like I didn't want to get into it, but like they were just back and forth, like, oh shit. But like I literally, it was probably 9 o'clock. This is one of the funniest shit because it's like I'm already ready, I'm fresh, and these guys are just going at it. And this whole time, it's not like blood's coming on me. It's like they're booze, they're beer, whiskey, everything. I'm wearing white too. I'm wearing white polo. I'm fucking covered.
Was your collar popped?
I probably so.
I hope.
Yes.
I wasn't doing the front tuck though, motherfucker. I wasn't doing the front tuck.
All right. So here's one for me. So I remember there was a place in Pascagoula called Thunder's Tavern.
Oh yeah, everybody.
Okay, everybody but Andrew. He wasn't from here. Okay. So Thunder's Tavern had a pool in the back. You want to talk about liability?
Is this La Villa? Are you
pretty much?
You're in Panama.
Pretty much.
Can you pull up Thunder's Tavern?
Yeah, pull up Thunder.
There's got to have pictures of that.
There's got to
place.
be all kind of stuff on it. Thunder used to play football for the NFL for I can't remember what team, but big old dude. I mean, he probably weighed like 400 pounds. But anyway, we were there. I think I was underage. I don't remember if I was.
You were definitely underage.
But like a fight happened inside the bar. I was antagonizing the fight. I did not get in the fight, but yeah, just me and my mouth. There it is. There's pictures of it.
Oh, it's still open. That's cornhole boards. It's got to still be open.
No, the guy passed away.
Oh,
yeah, Thunder's passed away.
It's like shut down now. Yeah,
but the pool was in the outside. There it is. There's the pool. They used to have like bikini competitions, and anyway, it was wild. But because I was lipping off, they kicked me out, and I was bound and determined to get back in.
Yeah,
and it was packed, and I just knew if I got back in the door, like security would just, I would blend in. I don't know what I was thinking. So anyway, I hopped a fence in the back. And whenever I did, I landed, and there was just like these two big ass pit bulls. How about that, my maker right there?
Are we talking like Sandlight style?
I'm talking about Sandlight style.
Oh, that'd have been
oh, dude, and like they're just like right at me, and I think I made a whole clearing of the fence coming back over.
That's absolutely terrible. That's terrifying.
Yeah,
I mean, there was how many parties did you run from growing up?
Like
from the cops.
The cops are here. We're going to
yeah.
It was a few.
A pretty good bit, but I mean, we always had it at places that you never had to worry about it.
Shit, we did here.
So, we had country, man.
You ever know? Do you know who Broadus is?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, Broadus. He's probably watching. No, he's Broadus. If you are watching, they're still around, and we'll see. You probably see him at Kroger Classic.
Yeah,
but there's Broadus undercover, which wasn't undercover because he had a tourist. We knew he was Broadus.
Yeah,
and he would bust every party.
We're just riding around. And
we had those cops too. We've had the ones that have pulled up to parties and are kind of like, "Look, y'all be safe. Don't do anything stupid.
Yeah,
if you're drinking, stay out here."
I didn't even think he was really a cop. He was just like deputized.
He was definitely a cop. I literally, probably 2018-19 Kroger Classic had a little time to sit with them.
Get him on the podcast.
This sounds like the kind of guy that was picking people up and taking them in his car that wasn't a cop.
Could be.
It's him and his wife.
Yeah, they were
a husband and wife.
They knew all the high school people's names. They'd be like, "Oh, we got you again."
So I'm gonna do this like outside looking in. Yeah, it's not a good thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So we did like our buddy Mikey Jenner. Like he would throw these ragers in Lemoyne at his dad's house. Like he had a pool. I remember this one time running down the road, carrying one of our friends, Brooke. She was drunk. Remember Brooke? Sarah's friend Brooke.
Yeah.
Is it Brooke Dillinger? Is that?
I don't remember, but yeah,
Brooke. I remember carrying her running down the road because they already knew the party was there and the cops were coming. Like so, it was like they would fill it. They fill it out. They would fill it out.
Swim.
Yeah, they'd fill it out. Like they'd wait for everybody to get there, and then it was just boom.
Oh, we've done that before
several times though, and that was real popular in St. Martin.
That used to be really funny when you would like show up to a party late and you're going down the main road to get there, and like in a parking lot, there was a whole bunch of cops right down the road, and you call them like, "Hey guys, I don't think it's a good thing to be there right now."
Yeah, you're the lookout guy.
Yeah,
I wonder why they went through so much trouble to set us all up though.
Because they never arrested anybody. They just broke it up.
They arrested people.
Yeah, we got a lot. Yeah, they had like we had a New Year's rave on Cron Road one time.
Rave. I see. We never had raves. Like it was never.
Well, we called them raves. All we did was throw bonfires and music.
We had a lot of raves in Picayune then.
Yeah,
we had a lot of raves. Bonfires, music. We raved every weekend.
Well, it was. I would say it was a pretty large event. I mean, it was several hundred people. Different schools all get together, and that's how we did it.
We didn't have.
No, with a lot of schools would all like come together and throw these parties. We go to Devon's Land, guys. If you know where Devon's property is, you remember that?
I'm just waiting on a reunion tour.
So Devon's from Mercy Cross. So he had like in Wilmarket off of Hudson's Cron, he had like power line land, like he just tons of land. So he would throw a party there. St. Martin, we had Baju Bet. We had
before drones. They had drones.
Rope swing. What was the other one?
It's amazing what we came up with back then before social media had really hit the wave.
Yeah, if we had social media then, we'd be screwed.
Well, no. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, we talk about this every time. Every once in a while, we talk about that. Again, I feel like I'm kind of the last generation that makes it through. Like we had social media, we had stuff to post on the internet, we had camera phones, but
it was so hard.
It was hard.
What was that one movie where the guy threw the house party and it just multiplied to the huge rager?
Oh, it's like that was like the thing.
What was that? You know the movie Project. Yeah, was that?
Yeah, Project
X.
Yes.
Okay, so that would have been so easy to do. It probably is so easy to do now.
Oh, now? Oh,
yeah.
But the problem is, everybody can see it. So you'd have to, you start a group. That's the thing. You make a group private. You invite all your friends. You say, hey, look, y'all invite your friends. And now you've got it going as long as you keep it quiet enough. But you could do that overnight. If you decided at this exact moment.
But do you think they'd want to come?
9 o'clock. If it was 9 o'clock on a Friday and you wanted 300 people at your house, I guarantee you could have them 300 people at your house in no time.
Easy.
Do you think they're more terrified that now with like being a cop that you have a phone you can record what they say?
Oh, well, you mean
like kids now, like they grab a phone and the cops acting crazy, they can record them.
Well, no, I mean they wear their camera and stuff. They didn't have that. They didn't have dash cams.
The
biggest thing is now it's not so much and you can record anybody. You can
they got sunglasses now.
My favorite is whenever.
Have you seen that?
My favorite is whenever there's two people standing there holding their phones, recording each other like they're both about to do something. Like, I'm recording you. No, I'm recording you.
Or the best is when the other person gets it out. Like, well, I'm recording you too.
So
I love that.
What up, Mello? Cheers. Much love. What's up?
Yo.
We got I think now with like social media though, it's so different to like it's a blessing for reach. But when it comes to like having a bonfire, because like you knew it got out, but it was like that one narc at school.
Oh yeah,
like we had that one narc. He like, of course, he was going to be explored.
We would have the rotating party where we would tell everybody one place, and
then we go to
we had multiple places you could go bounce place to place. Yeah, that was the easy way to do it.
Did you ever have like an explorer in your school?
What?
Like a narc, like a kid that like would get information to.
What's an explorer?
That's a camp. That's
no.
I know what that is.
No. Explorer is like if you're like a youth, if you're becoming a police officer, it's like a ROTC. It's an explorer.
Okay.
Like you can become an explorer for the police department. Yeah. What up, Randy? Rich guys, if you need real estate, you hit Randy up.
Yeah, hit him up.
Fourth right team. He's also a part of Cards Champions. But no, they had explorers. I mean, you went to school, like Matt said, we did that a lot. Like he would get the word out that
Were you the explorer?
No, I was on like
no.
So like I did what's that thing? Security.
He was the explorer.
Yeah, dude. I was narking every day. No, what was that? What was it? Oh man, we had security council or something like that.
Hall monitor?
No, it wasn't even that. It was just like you got to basically if you spill that on me, I see it coming. So it was like security council. I don't know. Basically, it was get out of class is all it was. But that's like where everybody kind of did it. We didn't have anybody that was really no.
Anybody ruining lives?
No, yeah. I mean, we were pretty inclusive. Like everybody hung out. Like we didn't. I feel like our parties were big mix. Like we had a lot of like everybody.
I remember to the point where I was running for like president of the SAD in our school, Students Against Drunk Driving, and I think I was going to get it. And they found out that we were throwing parties, but I never drove, but we would throw slammers, and I got disqualified. Thanks, Miss Payton. Disqualified for the election because she found out that I was a part of, there was a group of us that were throwing parties.
Underground drinking ring.
Yeah.
So, dude, I like how you called your teacher out on that. I had a teacher when I was in the 7th grade. I was in gifted, like elementary and junior high. And
Is that like special?
yeah, like
Smart. Smart.
Anyway, so I was in his class and
Call her out.
I don't even remember her name. That's even better. Better than calling her out. I'll think about it here in a second. But Miss Lincoln, maybe, dude. So it was stupid. They made us do work. Like the gifted class in junior high and elementary school was fun. Like we did great stuff. Then she made us do like homework and work and stuff. And I was like, this isn't cool. I told my dad, I was like, look, Dad, I was like, this isn't cutting it. I want to go be in PE with all my buddies. My dad was like, yeah, go in PE. It's cool. So I told her, I was like, look, I'm getting out of this class. I'm going to PE. I'm a 7th grader. She told me that I was never going to be a professional athlete and that wasn't going to help me. I was like,
wow.
Well, man,
yeah, that's out.
Truth hurts.
I know. Made it.
Yeah, made it. Professional
We
softball player.
rolled her house. When I'm talking we rolled her house, we rolled it.
Did y'all fork it?
No.
Was that a thing when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Forking?
Yeah. Well, what you really do is you rip the toilet paper up and you throw it in pieces on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Then it gets a little layer of dew on it. And it's hard to pick up.
Toothpicks is good.
How much toilet paper did you buy at one time?
The most we rolled a house with, actually, so these girls rolled my house. We lived in the Wood subdivision. She lived 5 houses down. 2 girls rolled my house with like 3 rolls of Charmin Ultra Soft. I mean, the
rookie stuff.
You could have unrolled this back on the roll and still used it.
Oh,
I'm not too sure my mom didn't use it, but well, I was like, all right, they want to play this game. So I called my buddies. I was like, look, guys, sleep over at my house. 2 of my friends came to my house with full-size suitcases, like, you know, the big ones you check in that you have to worry if they're over 50 pounds or not because you're gonna get charged extra.
Yeah, those.
Yeah, they had those full of toilet paper. We had over 300 rolls of toilet paper. We rolled this girl's house. Her dad was so mad that he was threatening to move. He, like, legitimately, to this day, I'm pretty sure he had already put his house for sale.
Did he have friends?
That's a little overboard.
Extreme.
Oh, it was so bad.
But did he have friends? Did you ever notice he had friends? Or?
Not the rolling.
No.
The rolling's perfectly normal, but the reaction to the
Yeah, but
rolling.
like I'm saying, her dad, did you ever see him with another friend?
Yeah, he has
Fishing
friends.
buddies,
Yeah, I definitely know he has friends.
Okay.
Yeah, he has friends for sure. But the house was so bad. Like, I've seen houses rolled. I've drove past house. I've been in Gulfport, you know, during homecoming. You see these houses that are rolled. Dude, that's child's play compared to what we did at this house.
But had there been motion censored cameras?
Oh, there 1,000. Yes, no, that didn't exist back then.
I am making a commitment right now, Randy Richardson. When it happens, I will help whoever wants to roll Randy Richardson's house for his kid's prom. Got your back.
Oh, yes. I'm down. Like,
So we got professionals.
I got his address.
We were talking about that. Practical jokes aren't the same anymore. Like,
Yeah,
you get older,
people get offended.
Yeah.
or well, you know, that's one thing. But the older you get, and you start to get some money, and you can actually do good practical jokes instead of like when you're, you know, younger and you had to do something to come up and come up with something. Now you got money, you actually buy stuff. Rolling somebody's house now. I know toilet paper is expensive, but oh yeah, if you told me we're gonna roll somebody's house in March or April, oh, I'm starting to save now for that. I am going to destroy their house.
It's hard to get away with doing pranks.
It is.
You're right. You're right.
I have a camera outside my house.
Got to be smarter than that, though. Like a good prank takes sometimes years of planning, right?
You set it up and you just wait for it. One of those, like 4 years from now, you're sitting on there and you get a notification. You're like, oh, well, somebody's about to.
Do you remember that little prank show that Ryan Dunn had for a while?
Was it Ryan Dunn or was it?
No, Ryan Dunn had his own prank show.
R.I.P. Ryan Dunn.
It was. Well, could you pull that up, Garrett? The Ryan Dunn show. It was a prank show that he had, and it was like, you know, electrical tape on the sink faucet.
I remember
you just tape it up and you just.
Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, that's
punked.
This is like more like a strategic style. Like he would.
I did that to my mom one time. I put a rubber band on the sprayer, so when you turn the water on, it squirts her.
She beat that ass.
Ooh, no, but she was pissed.
Homewrecker.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like real mean stuff.
Guys, check that out. So when we copyrighted Garrett. Okay, no audio. But no, guys, check out Homewrecker. That was really good. But they did like you do ketchup packets on the toilet seat.
So you sit down and it squishes it and it squirts out.
Yeah. And that's simple pranks, but you can't do that anymore.
You can. You just can't be there for the aftermath.
So let's
You
start.
just do it to set some up.
Let's all agree that there's 4 of us in this room. Each year we prank each other one time. Serious.
I don't want to prank each other. I want to prank other people.
Yeah, I don't want to be pranked. No,
But like
terrible.
If you go to the mall and we do it and we film from afar, but we don't let them know that it's us, that's the best kind.
So I've been diving in trying to figure out how to Wikipedia. You can go in there and edit Wikipedia now.
Oh yeah, we edited it when I was in college. We added me and another guy to our hometown Picayune Wikipedia page.
What'd you do?
We put that he was a murderer, and
Facts, ladies and gentlemen, facts.
Yeah, Wikipedia is real, man. You can definitely use that as a source thing on your paper, no doubt.
People search it up.
Yeah, so no, we put him and so we put him as a murderer and like me down something random. But what's crazy is
what was your random?
I can't even remember. I think it was like a
used car salesman,
like a championship pole vaulter,
foot model.
It's something random, but there's people that monitor that. So anytime like there's monitors for, so like Gulfport's Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
There's people who are moderators for that. And that anytime something gets edited, they get a notification and they'll go and fact check.
They care that much.
Are they on the salary?
No.
Or are they like community watch?
No, I think it's like,
Community
watch. Oh no.
Worse.
No.
Y'all need a Wikipedia page. Do you have a Wikipedia page?
I don't know if we do or not. No, Garrett's making us one right now.
Before the show's over, can we have a page?
That's it.
Can you say my age is 74?
Yeah, you can say whatever
I'm
you
going to be
want.
152.
Yeah, I'm just going to be 33, man. I'm just going to go ahead and stick with what I know.
No, but so back then when you did a lot of like smaller, fucking around pranks, it was kind of like, okay, we did it. You might have got slapped or punched like by a friend. And then you moved on.
Yeah.
Now it's on a different level.
You're getting sued. You're causing major property damage.
Well, no, here's the biggest thing. So if I prank you, it's no longer just you and maybe 3 other people knowing that you got pranked. Or worst case scenario, 20 people. If I prank you now and I videotape it, thousands of people know.
Millions.
And that's like, and it's messing everything up. Like, cause there's no fun to be had. Cause I wouldn't want to do that to you. Like if it was just us, like if it's us 4 sitting here
Crush your self-esteem.
and I do something funny to you, we're going to laugh about it. It's done with. When we walk out of here, it's over. Nobody else cares about it. We're going to walk out, shake hands and laugh about it. But if I did it and there's posted to the internet and all of a sudden it catches fire.
Yeah.
Now everybody in town knows about it. Everybody in town people can click on this stuff in South India.
But if it's good,
but I mean,
at what expense?
Yeah,
that's okay. I think. Do you feel okay with that? If it was at your expense, would you be okay with that? If it was at my expense, I think I would be okay with that. I think I would swallow it. I would be like, at least I'm there.
But see, that's the type of people we are. We grew up around that, but there's people who can't do that. And I get that. I understand it. Like I do understand like getting your feelings hurt. And like I get it. It happens. But dude, there's people who can't take it.
Yeah.
And do you think about them? Think about
the laughs that I have.
As long as you don't go like with
I have been the butt end of a joke plenty of times.
Yeah, 100%. I'm always
comfortable there.
I can't say a full sentence.
I think that's different. I think that's what makes it is if you've been the butt of a joke multiple times, when it happens to you, you're just like, oh yeah.
So me is peg legs because I'm with my disability. So people call me peg leg.
I told somebody the other day about your thing when you told me, you're like, man, I've made fun of this, so I don't care about I
really don't give a shit. Like I really don't.
And because they were talking about you, and like, man, this guy will go. You're like, he will just go and put himself in any conversation. I'm like, well, yeah, he told me why, and it's like, I mean, when you've been that butt of a joke before, I mean,
what are you gonna do
about it?
I mean, you get to a point, but like, yeah, I think overcoming with my disability was just like shit. But I also had like people like Matthew and had friends that seen the good. But
yeah,
there was a thing where I did play that role because I played little guy, big guy. I mean, like what? But and shout out to Brandon Bailey too and all the crew. But when you look at that stuff, though, like you're like overcome the disability. Like I'd have people like, "What up, Gimp?" I'm like, "Oh, you're a cool dude, man." And like, yeah, there's no comeback if you're just like, "Hey, cool."
Yeah, no.
Thank you for thinking about me.
Like,
thank you so much. Thank you, bud. That's because I'm not thinking about you.
So that's the thing I saw like on Facebook, they do like a meme. It was like better than flipping somebody off when they road rage, give them a thumbs down. I would be way more disappointed if you gave me a thumbs down.
What about calling him saying good afternoon from the movie? Good afternoon was like the F word.
Good afternoon.
From the Will Ferrell movie. That's the musical.
Oh yeah. Spirit.
Spirit.
So talking about good afternoon. So this is funny, actually. He might be watching, he might not be. So we went to the island, went to Horn, went fishing, or went to the island one day, just hanging out. We were coming back and we stopped at Wahoo's and we were grabbing a what's the drink? What's your drink you get at Wahoo's?
Bushwhacker.
Yeah, that's the one. So
chocolate milk and alcohol.
We pull up, we get the drink, and we're in the boat. So we're sitting there and we come back and we're trying to leave. Well, one of the girls with us, she's a preschool, she's a like kindergarten teacher or something at Bayou View. And she sees one of her kids and her parents and they're talking. And this is Sunday at 5:00.
Right.
He goes and pushes the boat off Sunday at 5:00, pushes us off, doesn't hesitate, pushes off while they're in mid conversation and says, all right, y'all have a good weekend. I was like, dude, it's Sunday at 5:00. I was like, the weekend is over. That's become a running joke at our house now. That's kind of like our go screw yourself. Like, we're just like, all right, have a good weekend. Like, it'll be. So if I ever hit you with, all right, have a good weekend on a Monday. Yeah.
How do you maintain? Because I mean, you're a banker and you have a lot of relations. You meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you meet a lot of good people, a lot of mean people. There's a mixture. Yeah. How do you hold that together, and how do you keep that smile on your face?
Dude, because I talk to so many of those people on a daily basis, I get to pick who I hang out with still. That helps.
Oh, that means well to me then.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I get like, yeah, I can deal with whoever I deal with, but I still get to pick who I hang out with. And I'll be honest with you, man, I really don't have a bad client in my book. And that's strong to say.
Yeah, they got to be in a good spot.
But that's the end goal. That's the end game, is to have a great book of people that you actually care about.
That was one thing I always said with mine is like, I break bread with my book. Like we live together, we drink together, we're family.
I could call.
You can't take that away.
I could probably call. I would say anybody. I really would say anybody, even ones that I haven't talked to in a while, and be like, hey, look, I only have work contacts in my phone and I'm broke down on the side of the road. Like, dude, I got you where you at.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, and that's because
not everybody can say that.
No, but that's because they know if they come to me, like, I answer my phone. If anybody wants to be successful, answer your cell phone. Yep. Do not be the person that does not answer their phone or return phone calls. Or if you say you're going to do something and you don't do it. I mean, I am guilty as charged, as sometimes I put too much pressure on myself for when somebody will say, hey, I need this done. I will drop what I'm doing. And even though it might be just as important, and do that real quick and then go have to pick that back up. But it's when it's fresh on my mind. That's the thing. And I mean, when I first graduated college, I worked or one of my other jobs was Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Yeah, I bet.
What was that like?
Did that instill anything in you? Or
I will tell you this. There are two jobs that should either be mandatory at somebody's point in life. I don't care how successful you are. You should, one, either have to wait tables or work at Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Really? That's comparable, or?
Oh, it's just two separate. I mean, customer service. Yeah. It's customer service. Enterprise was sales. So it's a big sales thing. The greatest thing was, and it's kind of crazy to try to explain this. So let's just say on Thanksgiving Day, so Wednesday, tomorrow, this is their busiest day they're going to have all year tomorrow. They might have 100 and something reservations. And they pull up there tomorrow morning for work. You know how many cars they're going to have sitting on their lot? Maybe 10. Maybe. It's nuts. I mean, you're turning people down and stuff. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, that was a job.
What is your worst rental experience?
Oh, I got so many of them.
But the worst.
Did
anybody smoke pot in there?
Did people want to fight you?
All right. So two good ones. When I worked in Picayune, one lady brought the car back. She ran from us multiple times in a row. There was always dog poo on the floorboards. It was disgusting.
Yeah, gross.
So she finally came back one time. I was like, look, you can't do it again. Like, if there's dog poo on the floorboard, we're charging you for it. Came back with dog poo. We charged her for it. She was mad. She complained. Well, she ran the next time and she didn't return the car. went to her house. Like she had a fenced in gate, went to her. We used to have to repo our own cars.
Yeah.
So I go knock on people's doors, get their keys and repo cars. So
it's part of the job description.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Getting paid extra for that?
No, Enterprise. What's going on?
Dude, it was gang.
Give you
that stuff was gang stuff, man.
To be your own boss.
Hey, the key. Yes. So I went there and we called. There was a gate. We don't want to jump the gates. We called the police. The police jumped the gate, went and knocked on her door. They didn't answer. Well, we finally got in touch with them. Then when the policeman went to the door, he looked inside the window. He's like, there's dogs and crates everywhere inside there. I'm like, well, that makes sense. There was shit inside the car. Like, it was nasty. Like, this is terrible. She actually went to jail. We caused that woman to go to jail for animal abuse.
Wow.
My manager at the time had to go and testify against that. But you're talking about like one of the ones talking about somebody trying to fight me. There's a guy, he used to rent from us all the time. He definitely sold drugs out of the car, 100%. Drugs and fake shoes.
What kind of car was it?
Multiple different ones. So we'd switch you out. Like if you need oil changes, we'd switch you out. But he'd rent months at a time. We had a monthly rate. He had shoes all the time, man. Try to sell me shoes and stuff. I mean, I wasn't
Jordans.
Yeah, like with the upside down reverse Nike check. Like they were the
Travis Scott's?
Not Nike. What was the Bobo Nikes?
I don't know.
Come on. No. The Bobo Nikes. So he had Nikes
and one.
Yeah. Yeah. We're on the right track. Yes. Well, there was anyway. So yeah, he would always have stuff like that. Like you could just tell they weren't right. Probably what StockX now sells, you know.
He has a AliExpress before AliExpress.
Yeah. He was the guy from China before China was.
Oh shit.
But he always rent from us, and man, he was always behind. And we used to have to collect. So I'd always call these people, like, look,
what kind of job is this? Shit.
So you're about to hear what kind of job it is. So this is in Picayune, so small town. I worked in New Orleans East too with Enterprise. Yeah. But so this guy came in and I tricked him. We used to do that. This was kind of the move. Hey man, we've got to switch you out of your car. It needs an oil change. So the dude comes in. He's behind by like 2 weeks on his payment. So I catch him up. We get him caught up. He's even and he needs the car still. And he's even. He just now paid up to today, but he needs it for like 2 more weeks. I'm like, all right, let me go switch it out. It needs an oil change. So I grab the keys from him. As soon as I get the keys, I hit him with the, hey buddy, you're done. Like you're done. He had another guy with him. So it's me and my car prep, the guy that cleans the cars. It's just us two in the office. And this dude's name's Cody. Cody actually is from the coast. And I see his truck running around every once in a while. I just laugh because I wonder if he ever thinks about this whenever he's just not randomly, because I do all the time. And this guy, he came in, he's like, he came around, like, so we had a partition and everything. And this guy was like, I ain't no country boy. He said, I'm from the city. And he tried trying to fight me in the middle of the thing. I was like, look, you better call the police. I'm about to fight this dude right here in the middle of Enterprise. So we're kind of like squared up in the lobby of Enterprise, sitting here about to fight. And I'm replaying this in my mind. I'm like, do I get fired when this happens? Or is this like you
lose all the way around?
No matter what. So it never actually happened. He finally, his name was Jermaine, was the guy's name. It finally came to me. Police came and he was like, oh, you checked the car. He had just got out of jail like 3 months ago for selling drugs. Makes sense now.
Repeat offender.
Yeah, we didn't.
I didn't know you can do what was like a monthly rate.
Oh, I mean, you would spend like $500-600, but you got to think it's just like those rent own places, man. Yeah, you can't get a car in credit, so you just rent it.
I didn't know Enterprises like that,
dude.
I thought you always wrap gifts in cars and shit, like you go by and pick it up.
Hey, we do pick you up.
We'll pick you up.
But do you wrap the car?
No,
we get it.
We've had bumpers stolen off of our cars in like. All right, last story, because I could go on for days with these. I pulled up to the branch in New Orleans East. I usually got there first. Pulled up the gate, the front gate. I'm talking a 10-foot tall fence, barbed wire on the top, a bar across the middle, is laying in the middle of the parking lot. I had gotten off the day before at like noon, so I went home. So I called my manager. I was like, hey, buddy. I was like, the gate's in the middle of the parking lot. And he was like, no, you're kidding, right? I was like, oh, so you don't know about this then, right? And he's like, no. It was Jordan. Jordan was like, no. He's like, don't do anything. Call the police. He was so serious. He had only been a manager for like 2 months. He was worried. Don't do anything. Call the police. And police get there. We review the footage. Somebody jumped the fence. They used a knife. Apparently they returned a Nissan, a Chevy Impala. They had drugs lining the bumper of the Impala. and they forgot to get the drugs out, or they just knew they were going to come back that next night
and get them all.
They stole the bumper, put it in the back of a 15-passenger van, hot-wired the van, and ran it through the gate. And then it's better. They took the van down to the pawn shop, like close to Chef Ventura, ran the 15-passenger van into the side of the pawn shop.
Oh yeah!
After they stole a U-Haul, and they stole shit out of the pawn shop and put it in the back of the U-Haul, and then burnt the U-Haul.
And did they get away?
Probably.
Dude, shit.
Yeah.
They played Grand Theft Auto once or twice.
100%.
That's the world we live in. That's what happens when you watch too much TV and drink at fires too much.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I mean, that like, who are these people?
I mean, it's everywhere.
They're the people that we live with.
Did you think that about car rentals until now? I learned something new just now.
I did. You know, I've had some shady car rental stories myself.
All right, go ahead, drop one.
Nothing to that extent.
Then they're a dime a dozen. I mean, it was every.
You want to hear a crazy story?
Yes.
You go talk to the rental guys.
You can't, and it's guaranteed, and they're all fresh out of college. Everybody that works those places have been out.
What's your test to that place? Like you I guess are you a fan of it?
So am I glad I worked there? Yes. Am I glad I worked there? No. I will tell you this: there is not a single. I'm saying this in a perspective of like, obviously there are jobs that are hard, and there are jobs that are labor intensive and stuff like that. But there's not a job like there's no way I will ever feel the stress that I felt at that place anywhere else. I mean, when you're showing up and you've got 60, 100 reservations, and you've got 10 cars, and you've got 15 planned to return, it's stressful.
You know, you're about to piss people off,
and people are yelling at you.
So, and I hate turning people down for stuff. But my first week, 2 weeks, whatever, I was working with the bank. I started out as a regular platform person doing loans and accounts, and I did my first loan application. I put it in, it came back declined, and I showed my boss. I was like, "Hey, look, that loan I put in earlier got declined." And he was like, "Well, are you okay with calling them and telling them they got declined?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, I used to make up rules to decline people. I was like,
everything happens for a reason. Like, you just train yourself.
Yeah, there's a guy who walking with a $50,000 credit card limit and a valid ID or valid driver's license. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm tell you what, I can't rent you that minivan because it only works in space.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to trick you into changing the oil to get these keys back.
So. I think that was one thing that helped. I just didn't that amount of stress moving in. Any job after that is gravy. Like the stress level, and no matter how stressful I've gotten, it's still been so manageable because of learning that experience.
That's awesome.
And I think that's what waiting tables does the same thing.
Yeah, that's how I was.
If you've got 5 tables you're working and you got 2 of them that are paying, I mean, you're stressed. You're pulled every which way. So the learning to multitask and to put your head down and work, I think that's the key.
Yeah, because once you're in the grind, you're in the grind.
Yeah.
Very easy to get carried away there. Next thing you know, you come up and you're like, wow, look what we did.
So that's a good learning experience for you though. Now you're up in the banking world and you know
this shit happen.
Yeah. You're
so what's your cup of tea at the bank? It's commercial loans, right?
Yeah. So my actual title is business banker. Hancock's a little bit different than, or Hancock Whitney is a little bit different than most of the other banks on the coast, kind of, even nationwide. We have a segment.
Where do y'all span from? Like the area?
Texas all the way into Florida.
Okay.
In Mississippi, our furthest north branch is going to be like in Shreveport and in Jackson. But we've got down to Tampa, all the way over to Houston, Dallas. I think we got some stuff over there. So pretty good spread. I-10 corridors, the bread maker. That's where everything's at. But so we have what we call a business banker. Most banks have your retail branches, which your branches do business. So business loans and consumer loans. But then once you make a certain amount, you go to a commercial banker. Whereas we actually have a middle ground. So we specialize in those guys that make $100,000 to $5 million a year gross income. So my window, my greatest clientele is going to be that 100,000 to 5 million in gross income. To whereas our commercial bankers are mostly dealing with 5 and up.
Plus.
Yeah. And
it's like that in insurance. You got middle market and
so same thing.
Big market.
But see, and that's the thing, but other places like Chase Bank, for instance, I don't know 100%, but I don't know if they have a segment like us. You either fit into a branch, so a branch manager handles you, or you're a commercial banking client or private banking. To whereas we kind of focus in on that middle ground. So and those are the guys that are every day out there. That's y'all. I mean, that's like your local businesses. That's your local people who actually need the hands-on stuff. Because your big commercial clients, they need it, but they've been doing it. They got it figured out. The people I'm dealing with are starting to figure it out.
Right. That's a good part, though.
Oh, it's
because you get to watch them.
So
you get to watch
fun.
Like bet on them. If you bet on them,
it's almost like, I mean, yeah, you kind of see, but it is the greatest part is whenever, I mean, I've been doing it now since, I'm gonna lie to you, I think it's 3 years, maybe 4 years that I've been doing business banking, and seeing businesses that I started out with that were good and now are great, or that were great and are fantastic, or that were just getting started out and now they're just like killing it. I mean, that's a win. Like, that's, people ask me like, why do you like your job? I'm like, I like seeing when other people succeed, I succeed, because it's just like if you're a manager and you have an employee that you teach everything to and they get promoted to a management at another spot, dude, that's a feather in your hat. You taught them that, you helped coach them through, get them through a hard spot. And for me, it's just seeing these companies that, are in my book. Like when I go past a building and I see like it's my client building,
I'm the same way. I take pride.
Yeah, dude, you're like, I know. Yeah, you're like, that's the thing. I mean, it's proud. You're proud of it. It's almost like it's your baby.
Yeah.
I think I looked at when I started cleaning when I was like 19, and my first year like $7,000. This is like just staying at Corey McGuire's, Rhonda's house off of Bethel Hill, but starting that business out and trying to get it. I just remember thinking about these like thoughts, like I'm gonna have a house, or I'm gonna have. Because like at the time I was sleeping on, his parents, his mom's couch.
Yeah.
But I would always like, I'm going to have a house. Like I'm going to have this and do that. And like that, some holidays and struggles working, because I'd work cleaning. I'd work on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. To this day, I mean, I don't do it anymore, but I used to work on like all holidays.
So when you got the house, how fulfilling was it?
Was weird. Because then I just was like, slept in the next day. I was like, I need this. And then it was like another goal. Another goal. So I was like, but it was cool to like, finally have that. I remember getting that house and having my first home was like, holy shit. Like that was different because it was a big purchase. But after that day, that's my point.
It hits different.
It goes, okay, well then I need this. I want to do this, and that push. And I see that with us with insurance. I'm like, if you say like, you can have this cozy right here job, or you can ride this wave that we're doing, I'm going the wave because I remember that feeling of like, I always tell him, I was like, wait 20 years from now. Like, wait, like we're going to be sitting there and, the struggles and the fight, because when you start a independent agency, which that was really cool, how like you were like, let's do this, let's jump. And you've been doing it for a long time, but it's fun to be a part of the ride because you're watching it. It's like, you see it now, but it's a lot of work. Cause I mean, you're from answering the phone to doing the policies, you're doing it. It's all
doing it.
And you're, budget, whatever.
You've got to make it happen.
Yeah, like even if it comes out of our pocket, we're taking care of our clients, and that's just it. And that's it. We're at that point where it's like, I kind of miss that when I seen that through like Clinton when I started Janie King. When I started at 19, I started that company. Like I see the same thing with the insurance, and I'm like, oh, it's only gonna get better. And you're gonna look back and go, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like you remember that first building, you remember that first employee, that first thought.
I feel the same with the podcast, though. I mean,
yeah,
and that's something that we've stuck.
We're never getting rid of this.
For coming up on 3 years now. And
how easy is this? Like, I mean, this is the greatest thing. This is a reason for you to sit down with people and actually have a conversation.
A real conversation, not these fake, these generic, like you're thrown into an awkward area.
There is zero script in this. That's
sometimes there is, but it's in that room over there with the green room whenever we do our skits.
I'm proud of what the show. And I'm proud of you. Like I'm proud of. Like I remember reaching out to you with Carter's Champions, you joining Carter's Champions this last year.
When I told you no at first, like multiple times.
That's how good leaders start.
I'm like, no.
A good leader says no.
Well, you came in.
I told you this is my number one thing. Everybody's like, oh, what boards do you do? What do you do for this? And I'm like, I don't do any.
But you're a part of it now.
And I told you why. I said, because I'm the person that when I do stuff, if people say, hey, can you do this? I try to do it to the best I can if I have the time. And usually that's the person that gets taken advantage of. And luckily with that, I was like, there's enough people around here that care that I won't.
Yeah, it won't happen with you.
No. And that's the thing. That's because most people, like the people that are with it, they care, man. So it's good. Like everybody does.
But with you, you're on point. Like you break things down. Like you can, give you 5 paragraphs. You can sum it down to 3 sentences of what needs to be done.
I appreciate that.
And that's really cool to watch. It's like I told John, I said, and this is like starting to but I was telling John, I said, we're good because as Andrew slides in, you can literally grab everything and just go,
yeah.
And this is what we got to do to accomplish this goal. Like you hopped on and we went like this. I mean, now I was telling John, I was like,
that's
look, we can have everybody joins. Everybody joins
drinks, bro.
Yeah, everybody joins the bar. Like, yeah, but everybody, you can hop on the board. And we have a lot of people that help with the board.
Yeah,
and there's people that don't do anything. But it was cool. Like I was always say, John, like, yeah, because you take things and you're like, all right, and you can sum it down and it can roll. And we've watched like all of us. I mean, shout out Stacy, shout out the whole team, the whole crew. But there's a talent you have where it just goes like this. Like you sum everything down and we just go this way. And we're gonna raise $1 million coming up soon. I don't know it's gonna happen, and it's gonna go to the local hospital, and it's something that's important.
You're not kidding. That's really not that far away.
No, I didn't think
when you think about it, when you actually, it's kind of crazy because like it seems like it's really far away when you say 50,000. Like when you say 50,000, you're like, oh, $1 million is really far away. But when you say 100,
it's a little
you're 10 times away. You're there.
Yeah,
and it's actually so 50. You go from 50 to 100. Your next goal is not 200. Your next goal is 500.
Yeah.
Well, I want you to know though, for our friendship, that I want to know like when we do this stuff, like, and if they're talking like, which I've brought you to stuff like where they're talking business talk.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's Andrew? Where's Andrew? Where's Andrew at? Because like I need to have Andrew. Like, where's Andrew? So it can be done to a certain level that I know, like you're that missing puzzle piece. And
that's cool, man.
Well, it's something I really I admire. That's why, like, when we started doing our weekly grab a beer. I mean, we did have our model friend supposed to show up, Jeremy Goins. There's a crew of us that sit at a table.
Hard as a model, right?
But I really appreciate what you've done, and I'm very
man. We're
grateful for the friendship.
Proud of you. And then in Neptune, you've stepped it up. Like you kind of put it all on a pedestal. And,
again, man, I enjoy as long as I enjoy it. I enjoy doing it, and I don't mind putting my time to something I enjoy.
Oh.
And both of those things are something that I'm real big in camaraderie, man. Like anything that like hanging out, the more people the merrier. Look, if you put me in a room full of 100 people on a daily, as long as I know everybody, I'm that shy guy. I am kind of, it's weird. A lot of people don't realize that. I hate going to events and not knowing people. Drives me nuts. I will
name tags.
Yeah. I'll talk to people, but it just doesn't do it.
It's like the fake forced conversation back to like that where you're like, so the weather sucks. Or how about the Saints? How about Andy Dalton? Huh?
Always talk, and I laugh every time. Like when somebody says like, "Oh, it's gotten cold outside," recently, I just laugh, and it's
because
that is a generic conversation. That's like a scapegoat.
Filler, the bullshit.
Golly, but it's so hard not to do it. I do it with the person that cuts my hair. I'm like, "Oh, it sure got cold outside recently," and I'm like, I'm sitting there. As soon as I say it, I'm like, I am sitting there killing myself on the inside. Like, God, that was a stupid thing to say.
Hey, look, hey, Bert's in here. What's up, Bert?
Who's Bert? That's Bart.
Bart, sorry.
Oh, it's Bart with Biloxi Bike. Look at him.
Whoa.
I will mess names up nonstop. Like this,
misspell,
dyslexia for sure.
So if you ever see a guy rolling around on an electric bike,
no, for sure,
that's definitely.
He came to the Pink Dress Run, rocking his bike.
I seen him at Cruising the Coast, always rocking the electric bike.
He's got like, did you see the new movement? What they do, like. They have to have at least 50 plus riders.
Yeah,
it's crazy the amount of people that are riding that downtown Biloxi ride.
Are you doing it? Would you ever?
I would, yeah. He's offered it, dude. He's offered it many. Like, so I live in Gulfport, y'all know that, and they do it in the evening times on Friday. I think it's like the first, or maybe every Friday.
I think it is every Friday.
You think he's got to be the largest bicycle company right here, down here?
What other?
I don't think there's
a handful. There's one in Gulfport. There's one in Ocean Springs.
He came and spoke at Rotary.
Hey, can you pull him up, Garrett? Pull up his company, because he really does need a shot, because he does a shit ton for the community.
He does, and that's one thing. Like every time I talk to him, like it's kind of
Biloxi Bicycle Works,
and that name in front.
See, we were looking at a sign earlier. How he has a gear,
like
the sprocket, out of wood. That's a sick ass sign.
See, that's like, and that's us. Like, I mean, when y'all are in Biloxi, so I'm in Biloxi. I'm right there on the corner of Halbert and
we're all on the same road.
Brooks passed me there. I was walking. I was walking to go get documents signed, and Brooks passed me. I was like, streetwalker. But I mean, that's where it's at. Like, I really, dude, Biloxi is about to blow up.
So, guys, if you're trying to, like, if you've been interested in getting into bicycles, it's Biloxi Bicycle Works. I mean, all different styles, from trail riding to speed competition, or just
Speedos.
Or I seen him. Yeah, I seen him on a beach cruiser, which we're from the coast, so you definitely in
mountain bikes, street bike, everything. I mean, there's bikes. So I've
Black Friday sale.
They have stuff in their shop that you can't get.
Let's look at some of their bikes.
The Southeast.
I was gonna get down there.
Anywhere in the Southeast, there's stuff in his shop that you can't get.
So my dad was telling me about these kayaks that he gets that are made in South Africa. It's the only place that sells them or that makes them. They sell them here. And in my mind, I'm like, South Africa, that's really coveted. But Bart has some stuff that's from overseas too, in his place. That's
well, Bart does want to come on the show. We need to get into Bart having on the show, because I really want to know, like, what makes you want to start a bicycle shop?
That'd be a good one.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? Like, because that's a risk. Like a tire, you can fix your. There's a lot of that's a risk.
And so I know a little bit of that backstory, and I think that he'd be a great one to kind of go in and explain that, because also his part in the community. You know, y'all know how much he does down in Biloxi, and that'd be a good one. That'd be interesting to hear that story. But that's a random. I mean, there's all right. That's the other part of my job. When people come to me and I go, "That's an industry," but then of course you've got to have it.
Yeah, you got to look at it differently.
Yeah, you're like, oh, but that's how that happens.
But if we talk about like Matt's dad's kayaks to Bart's bicycles, I mean, they got Rolls Royce style bicycles in there.
Oh my gosh!
I think Nick. Shout out to Nick Cook. He bought his, and Brandon. Did Brandon Davis buy his from there too?
I don't know.
But they're like on a different level of price, like
$20,000 bicycle.
No, I think probably $2,000, $2,500. I don't know.
They've got mold. They've got like
Bart. If you're still on here, what's your highest price on a bike in your shop?
Please, if you're still on here, what's the highest price? But that's obviously the highest.
Yeah. What's the Rolls Royce?
What is the one? They've got everything though, man. They've got your normal bikes. They do the maintenance stuff. Yeah, but it's crazy to think about. It's just like your camera stuff. It's like these mics, man. Everything has you have an entry level thing, and then you have
people who nerd out on it and want the best of the best, the creme de la creme.
And how much?
$15K. Oh shit! Can you tell them? Can you pull up the name of the bike so we can look it up? I want to see that bike. I will say that let's take away from him selling the bikes. It's his energy.
Oh,
that's 100% true.
His energy is
better.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying his energy in the community, like every time it's like he brings people together. Like,
those are the kind of people I want to build around my team.
Hell yeah!
Back to your book. Those are the kind of people you want in your book.
Yeah, you want awesome people. You want people that you actually enjoy being around.
What's up, Joe? Gonna sing me a song, Joe? Now, yeah, it's been crazy to see like the development, because like the bike I bought, and
I feel like that community was always here.
It was,
and they needed him.
So I bought a
band together.
Well, there was a shop in Ocean Springs. There was a bike shop in Ocean Springs, and I bought a Slim Jim. Was it a Haro bike? I paid like cheap for it, and I sold it for cheap. Should have kept it. But it was a Slim Jim. You had to there's a contest Slim Jim had going on, and
like the guy with the tall hair.
And the kid won it, but the mom didn't want him to have it, so she sold didn't want to pay the price on it. So I bought it, but now the bike's up there in value.
You're talking about Slim Jims, man. That was our Halloween costume one year.
You know, I eat Slim Jims every day.
Golly, my wife probably threw out. We went to Sam's and bought like 1,000 Slim Jims. That was at Holly Gras.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Threw them all in the air.
That was when I asked you. I asked you because it was the Halloween contest.
Yeah.
Halloween contest. And I said, "Hey, can I chug a beer? Can I pound beers on stage?" That was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Like, there's no rules at Holly Gras.
There's no rules. And then you guys got blackout drunk.
Yeah, it happens though. But I mean,
we got those pictures. Garrett, can you show the Holly Gras picture?
I had Bo
Sage.
I had a buddy of ours, Bo. He was in the corner. I handed him 2 beers and he threw them. Dude, this is like at 11, 12 o'clock at night. I don't know how I caught these beers, but I caught them and did the Stone Cold Steve Austin and actually hammered them. And my wife's throwing Slim Jims everywhere. She was Macho Man Randy Savage.
I remember that.
So my point of view of that story is even better. I don't know. I feel like I've told this.
It's always better from somebody else's point of view.
So we're there to set up everything, and it's like 10 o'clock in the morning, and you guys are calling me and like, "Where you at, bitch?" Like, where you at? And you send me like a Snapchat, and y'all are pounding beers. The event don't start till 7, 8 p.m. Mind you, let alone the contest, which starts probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock. So y'all pretty much had a full 12 hours of drinking under your belt at this point. And we get there, and yeah, you tell me, you're like, hey, I'm gonna throw these beers out. I'm gonna bust them. And then Bo's like, I'm gonna be like Indiana Jones, and I'm gonna come out. So y'all were drinking together at 10 in the morning. Well, then you come out there, you bust your beers all over the place. Great. And then Bo comes out, and he starts slipping and sliding, and all the beer that he had just spilled all over the dance floor. And I'm watching him, and every time he'd like stand up, he'd fall again.
Everybody thought that was on purpose.
Yeah, but
everybody's like, "Oh, Bo slid on purpose on his knees." Like, no, he lost his balance and just fell multiple times,
over and over and over. And so, and all I could do while I was watching it was laugh, and I'm thinking about the original Snapchat I got that morning, where y'all were like, "Where you at?"
Like, this is what happens, kids. This is like how.
Yeah. Do we ever think? Do you think we'll ever bring Holographs back?
Yeah, I do for sure.
I think we do like we start advertising it one year, we're like, oh no, not this year, maybe next year.
We've done it for 2 or 3 years.
It's been a lot going on.
We didn't even advertise it this year.
Yeah. So we got I love to sell regular everyday bikes to regular people, but check out the specialty S-Works SL7 15K.
That's the one.
Oh shit.
So, all right. So funny story. I was at their shop, and there's like a button on some of those bikes, like the Specialized, that you can hook a button in the seat, will automatically go up.
Okay.
I hit the button. It shot to the roof. It didn't come out, but like it went all the way. I was like, oh, I broke
like an ejection seat from a F1.
And I looked at the price tag is like $5,000. I'm sitting here going like, oh my goodness.
Like, have to pay for that.
Like, please tell me I did not break this bike. But yeah, no, they got everything there, man. That's pretty solid.
If you're in it, you're in it. You know, 1, 2, 3. What game are you playing? Call of Duty right now? Did you play any Call of Duty?
Huh? I have not.
Going down the list.
Oh,
but he's on Twitch. I mean, have you played it?
No. Joe says we should make beef jerky live on stream. Maybe we can do that. Yeah, time lapse. Maybe we can.
You make good beef jerky. Your dad does.
Maybe we can make some beef jerky
jerky
videos. I'm about to go deer hunting. I'll get some deer.
Jody Jacob says white girl.
Yeah.
That's the name of my Jeep, actually, is White Girl.
Christina,
what made you come up with that name?
I don't know who Jody is, but that is exactly what my Jeep is.
Maybe it's your stalker.
That's exactly what my tag is it's WHTGRL on my Jeep.
Is that your wife?
There's no way. Dude, look, I've got a picture right now. Jody, who are you?
White girl. White girl means a lot of things.
I don't even know I don't think I have a picture of my Jeep tag or not. Oh, I do have one. I'm going to show y'all.
I've never done beef jerky.
Hey, so I got to send y'all something. Actually, let me send this to y'all. It takes like 2 seconds to do.
Okay.
While you're doing it. And then we'll have a conversation afterwards. It's pretty good.
Hey, who was the guy that used to always sell that dehydrator on TV that always dyes the hair, the old dude? Do you remember that infomercial?
He died. You talking about the one that was like all hopped up on cocaine all the time?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
ShamWow, the guy. That was
no, not him. It wasn't ShamWow guy. This guy was an old dude. Was like, wasn't Mr. Juice guy, but he always sold the dehydrator. And we'll throw in a pair of knives. Shit. Ron Papelli.
All right.
What is this?
Billy Mays.
This is how many 5-year-olds can you realistically take in a fight?
Me and Justin Chance had a serious conversation about this for like 30 minutes the other day. So that's a quiz.
Okay.
My number was 31.
You got 31?
31. So so
this is a quiz to see how many 5-year-olds
you can take on in a fight.
Can you send it to Garrett and let him do the quiz live?
Send it to him. Yeah, send it to him. So that was one. So I've heard it before. It's like, how many 5-year-olds can you take in a fight? And I was like, that's actually really interesting. I told Chance, I was like, man, look, I said, I've got a better idea. You know how like everybody looks at somebody and is like, oh, that guy's big, tall, muscular. He's probably can fight. Maybe you've got these little guys, like these guys that are small, like 145 pounds in a cage, and they fight and can beat the crap out of people.
I'm doing the test.
So what they need to do is they need to put on your driver's license, like, hey, this is a 35-year-old guy, like a 35-year-old guy. Like this guy can beat up 35-year-olds.
Okay.
A whole different classification.
Yeah. So that way, like when you
get judging strength.
So you get pulled over.
What about 10-year-olds?
No. You gotta go with 5-year-olds because you gotta have
you gotta have whatever it takes to win this fight.
Yeah, it's great. So that's what I'm saying. So like, let's just say they pull Brooks over and they're like, hey, they run his tag and they pull it up and like, hey, the driver of this car, he can take 15 5-year-olds. not like fight him, beating him up. So they know how strong he is. Like for me, like they're like, hey, this guy, they'll know how to worry about you at that point.
It's there, Garrett. Do it. Garrett, you share it. Share it, Garrett. Share it.
Now you better get at least over 30.
Yeah, Garrett, you got to do it live.
Yes.
You got to do it live.
But so the rules, like kind of when they talk about it, it's like it's on a half of a football field. So you got 50 yards to deal with. Okay. Once you knock one out, they're done. You can use them as a weapon. So there's a lot of little things in there, but there's no groin kicks, stuff like that. So it's kind of funny. Like how would you describe your physique?
Yeah.
Come on, do it live. Let's go.
Would you describe yourself as a person that can be climbed easily?
What's your favorite?
Yeah, this is good. Like, I mean, it was kind of, so I think I had 31 is what mine was when it came out, but yeah, I mean, that's like a new gauge of how you're going to gauge somebody. Like when you go to a bar and you're going to get in a fight with, hey, how many 5-year-olds can you beat up? You know, I want to know if I want to fight you or not.
I got a near infinite amount.
No, you did not. There's no way. Okay. Stand up on camera, turn, like on Grand Theft Auto, and they stand there and you're like moving, just kind of shaking. That's what you need to be. So
you are the alpha and omega of beating up 5-year-olds. You are the universe.
31. So yeah, we got 31. So I think that's realistic. But really, like trying to think about it, what's it say? It says, wow, you quit your, he said,
I got 31 too.
You quit your day job yet? So I think that might be the normal.
Says I'm the first line of defense. So call me whenever it comes down.
So 31's good.
I mean, 5-year-olds. I would be pretty proud if I beat up 5.
I think the one it was the Derek Jeter where you can would you use a 5-year-old as a baseball bat? And the answer is yes.
100%. I would swing
like grab a kid, starts fighting for your life.
That's a new metric of strength. That's.
I'm proud to know that that's where we've evolved with this technology, because it went from but how ASL to Tamagotchis.
How crazy was that? We just instantly took that, and now we know how many 5-year-olds we can take. Well,
an infinite amount.
I know I can beat up 31. You're infinite, so
yeah, just stand behind me.
How'd you answer? Everything was just like I'm a badass. You're a trained fighter. Did you put trained?
Yeah, I am trained.
He went with.
I said no trained fighter.
C was every answer. He went with C on every answer.
I have a 5-year-old. The answer is way more than 31. No.
Dope. Well, Andrew, dude, thank you so much for coming in. We're gonna do this again.
Look at the camera and then tell everybody you love them. Yeah. And
tell them where they can find you.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Y'all can find me at the Hancock, Whitney in downtown Biloxi. I'm there every day of the week, so it's easy to find me.
Yeah. All right. You guys tune in next week. Good show coming up.
Hey, and guys, love you. And shout out to